How do I find companies to work with in B2B sales? We're going to answer this exact question and give you the best advice that top sellers are doing and some things you probably should stop doing. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. On this episode, we're going to tackle this question that's come up. How do I find companies to work with in B2B sales? Now, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, our episodes fall under one of two categories. One, it's around giving you ideas how to build pipeline, or two, how to accelerate deals through the pipeline. Today, we're focusing on that building pipeline concept, and this is around finding the right companies. Now, I'm going to give you what some of the best companies and best salespeople are working with, I've worked with, are doing, things that are working for me. And hopefully these can be able to help you right away if you apply them. Because the concept and ideas could be great, but if you're not applying them, it ain't gonna work. So what I would like for you to do, hit me up on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly, or drop in the comments here and just tell me which one of these you're gonna try today. Absolute first one, big shout out to my friends over at LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Not because they sponsored a podcast, but simply because it worked. I've been using LinkedIn for years, way before I've started working with them. But here's why I like LinkedIn. It's because of Sales Navigator. So let me show you exactly. In Sales Navigator, if you're trying to find companies, literally, just think about this. LinkedIn database is actually pretty rich because individuals like you and me post information about our job titles, about the roles that we're in, how long we've been at companies. We engage with others in our network. We engage with other colleagues. And it's just a perfect area for B2B sales. You go on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can do searches and find up-to-date information that's not necessarily going to be you're not going to necessarily find on some of these other platforms, because people go to their LinkedIn first to update information rather than going to some data source and updating it there. Like, hey, random data company, let me tell you that I changed role, as opposed to on LinkedIn, we can find that. So what I like to do when I go on LinkedIn is go to Navigator, and I like to find people who are new to their position. This is what we call a trigger. And if you're trying to find new companies to work with in B2B sales, this is an awesome avenue. You can find the organization, which is an account search, or you can go ahead and find individuals that could be potential customers for you. So let's say you work with HR directors. You search HR directors. It's perhaps important that you find HR directors who may be looking for what you have right now, which is a trigger event. And I might find HR directors who are new to their position, and also HR directors who are posting on LinkedIn. I like those features because it helps me to be able to identify people who may be open to learning, and also people who are engaging already on a platform, rather than just finding a bunch of HR directors who ain't on LinkedIn really as much as people who I would like to engage with. So those are some of the first things that I love about it. With Navigator, you can also be able to do searches on organizations within a certain demographic or a certain geographical area, a certain size, and so forth. So you're not necessarily trying to sell to everyone, but you start focusing and honing your focus on the right people. And one of the other features that I absolutely love about Navigator, let's say there's an industry leader in your space, maybe somebody in HR space who grabs a lot of attention and has a lot of people following them. You can also, if you're following that individual, you can also find contacts or find companies relative to individuals that may be following that particular contact that you have. And that's a really dope feature with LinkedIn. So that's my very first one that I'll tell you. Number two, you're going to find the databases, the other sources that are out there. Now, this is one thing that these other databases have over LinkedIn. LinkedIn has the most up-to-date information on who's in what companies and so forth. However, I'm not going to lie, their data is not great when it comes to phone numbers and email addresses. The email addresses generally that LinkedIn has are the email addresses that individual may have signed up with 15 years ago when they first got on LinkedIn. And that email address probably is a Yahoo or some Gmail that they had back when they were in college. So it may not be the best data on the contact information side, but the information about who's in the organization, connecting and engaging with those prospects, that's your database. But number two, you want to find databases, tools like Apollo, like Lucia, Lemlist, ListKit. All of these other databases or software have the ability for you to be able to find the individuals you may have found on LinkedIn, and also be able to find their phone numbers, their email addresses, so you can best reach out to them. That's the second best way that I'll tell you to find people. You can also do the same thing you do on LinkedIn in a sense of researching and finding the company information and demographic about those companies. And some of these software have what they call intent features. And what these intent features does, it tells you, to be honest, a lot of them are not the most accurate out there, but you can go and test them. But they have an intent feature that lets you know this company or organization may have been looking. And the way it works, it has triggers or have capabilities that can search the web. And try to go into technical details, it's going to be crazy, but just imagine this. If you go and search for website builder, they have the capabilities to be able to go find the companies that search for website builders. And if they're in the demographics that you're looking for, say, hey, these 50 companies have searched over the past 30 days website builders. Now, they could have gotten a vendor already. Maybe they were just looking at shopping around. We don't know at that point, but it's an indicator that someone in that organization, they won't tell you exactly who, they can't find that, but they'll tell you individuals, that organization, that domain has searched that particular database. So again, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye. So you can go ahead and start doing that with those tools. So again, Apollo, Lucia, Lemlist, ListKit, there's more out there as well that you can take advantage of, but those are some ways that you can find companies to work with. Number 3, I'm going to go to some old school ways. And I know some of you are going to get like, well, Donald, this is not as fast, but I'm telling you, the return is better. This one is from your current customers. So whether you're a new sales rep and you're asking this question, you're looking inside of an organization, and you're trying to figure out who you start with, go look at some of the customers. You may have gotten assigned a territory, and even if it's like not that great of a territory, there are people in that territory that probably you're working with already, your company's working with already. Can you go and make connection with them and find out who are some of the potential referrals that it might have? And even if it's not anything major, but if I'm going for HR directors, again, the HR directors know each other. They probably are part of a local SHRM, which is an association for HR directors. Don't ask me the exact title, but I remember SHRM. Hi, SHRM friends. But it's an HR or association, but they have communication with others within their industry. It's not like they set territory like, this is my area. I'm not going to talk to any of the HR directors. They have communication. But by asking for referrals, that's a great way to help. And here's one of the cool things with referrals. It's been proven that it's literally like around 11% of salespeople who are actually asking for referrals. But when customers are asked if they're willing to give referrals, it turns out it's the opposite. Like 90% of customers will say that they are willing to give a referral to a sales rep, but not many salespeople ask. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for this. And the cool thing about referrals is that it doesn't just necessarily have to be with your customers. I've done this with cold people that I've reached out to. So on a cold call, reaching out to someone, and I remember this was an IT director for an organization, and it was in a government space, higher ed. No, excuse me, it was K-12. And he didn't have interest in our services, but he, however, was part of groups, and he knew several other IT directors in other school districts around the area, and was able to give me their contact information. Bada bing, bada boom. I was able to make connection. The point is, I got referral from somebody who wasn't even my customer. So don't be afraid of asking for referrals, and that's a great way to gain new customers. Number 4, this one again requires work, but if you're thinking about just finding easy peasy stuff, I mean, that's not how B2B sales is going to work all the time. You got to make sure you put some skin in the game, put some work out there. Otherwise, everybody and their mom would be doing this and being successful. Now, a lot of people do jump into B2B sales, but not a lot of them are successful. The 4th one is one of the easiest things that you can do, but it requires you to have some courage and to actually do the work. That's your phone. I mean, each and every one of us, we have like $1,000 device here, and we have a lot of contacts that's been passed over for years. So can you look at your contacts within your phone, or you think about your Gmail or your email account? There's a lot of people that you might have. A tool that I like to use is something called Connect the Dots. And I had these guys on my podcast a while back. I'll link to the episode in the show notes. But what they're doing is pretty remarkable. It's going back to the old school ways, like the some of you won't get this, but Rolodex, I never had one, but Rolodex was a thing that they had on people had on their desk with contact information of their friends. It was like your address book, but it rolled and it was Rolodex. That was the name. If you want to see a picture, go Google it or ask chat. But with that though, you can all of your email accounts you can connect the dots, your social media contact information as well, and it will give you look at the people who are strong connections, people that you communicate regularly with email, or it sees that you have good communication with on social and so forth, and it gives you the recommendation of those who are the strong ones, and those are some of your strong connections, and those are people you can go and ask questions to. So if I go look at mine, I can see that maybe there are 100 people that I have strong connection with, and some of those people may be good for me, even if those are not my customers, but I can ask them if they know anyone that they in the industry, in their industries, that may be interested in our service. And the fascinating thing is, because those people have such a strong connection with you, there's a high probability that they're going to reply back to you and not ignore you, because they consistently reply to you all the time. Connect the dots, just find that, and it gives you the low hanging fruit. And oftentimes we ignore that. I think for me, I have like, I don't know, like 1,000 people on my phone. Some of them I need to delete, but some of them I probably have not spoken to in years, but they probably could use my service, or they could connect me to someone who could benefit from my service. So don't be afraid of that. If you want to do an easier way, another way as well, is just to literally take your contact. You can download that, and you can just make the phone calls to those people. You can send text messages out as well and just connect with these folks. And the good thing about this is that these are people that know you or are associated with you. So there's a higher probability that they're going to answer the call, they're going to reply to the text messages, and so forth. Don't necessarily pitch, but I would use a concept called permission to ask a question. When you do that, they're going to say, "Sure, what's up, Donald? It's been forever." Or you could start it off like, "Hey, Jason, it's been forever, man. Permission to ask a question." "Sure, what's up, DK? It's been a minute." And then you pose your question, and you can start your conversation from there or whatnot. But that is an opportunity to start getting people, and you get introduced to folks. Again, you want to get the real deal, you want to get some opportunities, these are going to be good stuff. And I'm listing these in some orders, so you can start off wherever you feel. But that number 4 is one of my favorites, and I think it's a strong positive one. Number 5, partners. Now, depending on where you are with your organization, if you're starting off brand new as a company, as a CEO of a startup, you can find partners. And what I want to look at is for people who could benefit from us. Our second company that we have is a production company called Blue Mango Studios. And what I've done is, like, we've looked for people, other agencies that Blue Mango Studios produces our content, like for this episode and some of our other content pieces. But what I look for are partners, people who may have email marketing agencies, or website production, website agencies, or whatever type of marketing agencies. Those people would be open to the idea, or PR firms, they may be open to the idea of their contacts, their clients asking them for podcasts. Instead of them creating a podcast production process and agency like we have, which we have done and perfected over the past, 12 years, they partner with us and they're white label with us. Now I'm getting access to other companies that I'm working with, but I don't necessarily have to do a lot of the hard work. And that's a low hanging fruit, partners, and they're rich opportunities there. So find the right partners, give them a great offer, and then work with them, and they will give you introduction to their clientele, which are potential customers for you. Or white label, which is depending on where you are in your organization. If you're a sales rep, you probably can't come up with a white label idea, but you can find partners that you can work with, and in your role. And maybe you're not only you can't work too much with channel partners, but if you can find some, depending on the size of your company, you get them connected with your organization, and hopefully you can eat off of those leads that they get from the channel partners. Now, there's a bonus one that I want to give you. But before I give you that, listen, these things are not going to work by themselves. You have to apply them. And that's why I want you to take one of these ideas, and I want you to implement it. And I want you to go ahead and tell me about it. Some of them you're probably already doing, but there's others you probably have not touched. And I would like for you to tell me about that. Just hit me up on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly. Again, Donald C. Kelly. Don't just follow, send me a DM and say, "DK, I'm going to try my contacts in my phone strategy with a permission to ask a question." And dope, you're going to find success. Listen to one of my previous LinkedIn episode where I talked about that as well, and some of the stats I found on LinkedIn with it. The final one is LinkedIn posts and hashtags in your industry. So let me give you an example for this. Let's say that you're in the manufacturing space. I would go and search hashtag manufacturing, or I might find the top associations in a manufacturing space. And then what I would do is look at their post. On their post, it's kind of like, I don't know, nectar for bees. It's going to attract a lot of different people in the industry. And say I deal with operation manager or plant managers in a manufacturing space. This is going to be like again, like the nectar that's going to attract people. Those plant managers are going to comment on these people's posts or engage on them, like them, or they're probably going to, some of the hashtags that are out there, maybe the videos that they have on LinkedIn, they're probably watching some of these videos. I just go and look and see who's engaging on those posts, people who have liked or comment on it. And that's a great way to start conversation with potential companies that are right within your ICP, and you have something to start off a conversation with. I might say something like, Jasmine, and saw that you also engage on Larry's video about deleting his server. It was crazy that would have happened. Can't believe that. I feel I probably would have gotten fired if that happened to me. Anyways, permission to connect here on LinkedIn. That's probably was way too much of a long post, but I can truncate that and just simply say, hey, saw you also engage on Larry's post about deleting his files. Permission to connect here on LinkedIn, or permission to commiserate here on LinkedIn. But the point is, you're starting that conversation. This is someone that's right within your space, within your, it's an ICP. They're following hashtags and industry leaders that you also are following. And those are great conversation starters. Even if you just sent an email to that person, you can also say, maybe the subject line is like, I hope this doesn't get deleted like Larry's files. Now, this person is going to be intrigued because, remember Larry posted about this, and then you start a conversation around it. That is going to cause them to at least open that email and start conversation with you to see what is it, if it's worthy of deletion or not. The deletion, the right word, worthy of being deleted or not. But the point is, you have somewhere to start the conversation. And that is a powerful strategy that most people don't take advantage of. So anyways, I gave you 5 ideas. I'll refer back to them again real quick. 1 is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. 2, tools like Apollo, Lucia, Lemlist, ListKit, and so forth. Number 3, your referral partners. Asking for referrals. Number 4, you want to get the people within your phone. Number 5, you want to get partners. And then the bonus one was taking advantage of following hashtags and also those movers and shakers in your space on LinkedIn. Those are some ways that you can find companies to work within any industry, no matter what size business you're going after. I would love for you to tell me which one of them you like the most. Go ahead on LinkedIn, drop me a message. Now, if you enjoyed this stuff, I want you to think about our LinkedIn prospecting course. This is where I teach sales reps how to master LinkedIn to be able to find opportunities. Our promise is that when you go through the program, it's a great opportunity for you to get practice and learning and boot camp style, and learn from some of the other salespeople in the B2B sales world. But you're going to have the opportunity to start generating 3 appointments per week from LinkedIn if you apply the things that we share. Now, I'd love for you to tell me if you want to find information about that. Go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. Or if you just want to find a more, learn from me a little bit more, you can just connect with your homeboy on LinkedIn and tell me how you like, which one of these things you're going to apply. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to gain more attention. I want you to gain more opportunities. I want you to be able to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise the level of thinking and go out and do big things. See you on the next one.